always be tightening his belt.
It got to the point where his belly was shrinking so fast, I wanted to take him to see a doctor about it.
Dempsey was a guy who couldn't even lose his belly fat when he worked out every day. But only weeks later, Dempsey had suddenly become one of the leanest, fittest guys in the fire station. He'd lost 20 pounds of stubborn flab from his belly and love handles. At the time, we just thought he was doing a starvation diet. But Dempsey later told me he was eating all his favorite foods such as fries, cheeseburgers, and beer. And it was the special drink that melted his fat away so fast. When he took that drink every morning, he felt great and was full of energy, bright-eyed and ready for the job at any time.
I remembered this entire incident after Susan came back from the hospital, but I had no way of contacting Dempsey. The clock was ticking, and I knew at that point I had to do something.
There had to be a way to target this dangerous blood protein, or my sister could lose her life and young Jordan would lose his mommy. Dr. Tamaki had returned to Japan, so I urgently sent an email to the address that he gave to Susan earlier. I waited 3 days for a response, but none came. So that weekend, I got to work like a man possessed, researching medical journals in a library nearby. After a few hours, I finally stumbled on a book and a couple of journals where I found out more about C-reactive protein. In one of the journals, scientists reviewed 7 different studies, proving that C-reactive protein was the single common factor in every overweight man or woman because it shuts down adiponectin, the most important weight loss hormone. In another journal, I found out that CRP was present in almost every one of the deadly health conditions that are killing millions of people. But even if doctors and researchers knew this much, they never mentioned once how to target this dangerous inflammatory blood protein. Instead, every single article on CRP in those medical journals finished with a note about how a big pharma company was working on a new weight loss drug that looked promising, but was still at least a few years away. And this made me mad. Dr. Tamaki had said that in Japan, they would target CRP and jumpstart the master fat-burning hormone using a natural mix of foods, herbs, and spices. Scientists could wipe out this single root cause of the weight gain epidemic and multiple deadly conditions in months if they published this information today. And no medical journal wanted to talk about it?
Then I remembered what Dr. Tamaki said. In Western countries, the treatment focuses only on drugs to manage symptoms once they're present. They never fix the root cause.
And after 3 full days and 7 evenings of research, I had gotten nowhere. What could I do about my sister? How long would her body hold out? I still hadn't received a reply in 3 weeks from the email I sent to Dr. Tamaki. I knew that I could choose to get mad about that too. But if there's one thing being a firefighter has taught me, it's you should never give up. Always keep your head up. Stay positive. I went to my email inbox and was about to look for Dr. Tamaki's contact details when I suddenly noticed a new message had arrived from an anonymous email address. It had no subject line, and inside the email message it just said, "For review." I opened it, and attached to the email were a bunch of PDF documents. Maybe this was Dr. Tamaki's way of getting back to me anonymously. So I carefully opened the first PDF file. It seemed to be a scanned image of a medical study. The first thing I noticed was that it said confidential, not for release to public, printed in red capital letters across it. A secret medical study that wasn't for public release? Did this mean that it held some key information that could hurt shady drug companies' profits? My heart beating faster, I quickly downloaded all the attached PDFs from the anonymous email and printed them out. All of the studies were related to C-reactive protein in the body and how scientists had done plenty of testing on it. The purpose of their studies had been to find a new drug to target excess body fat. The scientists wanted to develop a super pill that allowed people to eat as much as they wanted of any kind of foods and stay slim. They'd studied the ancient diet of the natives in Okinawa, where Dr. Tamaki came from, as well as the diets of native tribes in Bolivia. In the experiments, scientists discovered a super powerful food substance called anthocyanins. Foods and drinks with high levels of anthocyanins are red cabbage, green tea, and spinach. One report explained exactly how to combine these powerful natural substances to destroy belly fat. Scientists had tested 140 different combinations of anthocyanins from different foods and had come up with one potent combination that blew away everything else in terms of results for weight loss. This one mix of anthocyanins had an astonishing effect on destroying fat cells. It also helped reduce symptoms of practically every major modern deadly condition in the Western world. This potent natural mixture actually heated up fat cells and caused them to be released as pure energy. For the men and women in the study, it was as though they were doing an intense workout, when in reality, they could be lying on the couch watching TV. The pharma companies were going to base their new fat-melting pill on this natural anthocyanin formula and patent it to make billions of dollars.
When I read this secret report, I felt dizzy, and my heart started pounding in my chest. I was nervous but very excited. I could finally save my sister's life with a proven, potent natural blend.
Here it was. The solution was right in front of me. All I had to do was mix the right foods, herbs, and spices they listed in the study, together with some water, and she would take it once a day. I called Susan, my hands shaking, and told her what I'd found. Susan's first reaction was excitement, like me. She had an idea of what this mind-blowing breakthrough could do for her. She imagined how her life would be transformed with effortless weight loss, a flat-toned belly, waking up from the deepest and most reinvigorating sleep every morning, and being free of all pain in her back and joints. She imagined the new burst of confidence. She imagined the feeling of pure happiness as she'd walk down the street on a beautiful spring day. How she'd be able to wear her favorite clothes again. How she could look great and feel sexy at the beach in her bikini, and how she could start swimming at the pool again. But Susan had been let down many times before. And as a cautious person, she still felt skeptical and wondered if this would really work. It all seemed so simple, and yet she'd believed for years that losing fat was a complicated, tough process. She reminded me that diets, meal plans, and even workouts had never made any difference. She needed to know for sure how these powerful substances would help her. I decided to show her the ingredients in the tonic and the rock-solid proof behind them that Dr. Tamaki had sent me. Then she could decide for herself. This first ingredient is the Japanese holy grail of fat loss and is said to be why so many people in Japan are in great shape without diet or exercise. It's called EGCG, and it's a plant compound found in green and white tea. Studies on humans showed that EGCG is linked to a reduction in body fat and is a potent stimulator of thermogenesis, the biochemical process which causes fat in the body to be burned as energy. Researchers found that by stimulating thermogenesis, EGCG can help burn extra calories and stave off fat. In other words, it converts more of your fat to energy. What's more, green tea is linked to skin cell rejuvenation, according to the Medical College of Georgia. And if you enjoy a cup of coffee or tea, that's great news, because EGCG burns fat even faster with caffeine. The second powerful ingredient is piperin, a potent antioxidant extracted from black pepper. Piperin has traditionally been used for centuries in Asia to assist troublesome digestion, but researchers from Sejong University in South Korea found that piperin blocks the formation of fat cells and supports healthy blood sugar metabolism. This means piperin works to prevent fat storage after a meal, which is why it helps keep you slim and toned once you've lost excess weight. The next powerful ingredient is an exotic fiber named inulin. Inulin is extracted from the chicory plant root, and there's some amazing evidence behind it. In one study, volunteers who simply added inulin to their diet lost significantly more weight than those who didn't. That's because inulin directly targets visceral fat. Visceral fat is the most dangerous type of deep fat, which sticks to your organs and puts you at higher risk of many modern deadly conditions. The Imperial College of London, a reputable school which is like the Harvard of England, found something super interesting when they studied it. The researchers found that adding inulin to your diet could switch off cravings for high-calorie foods in the brain, and added that inulin is an effective tool to significantly improve weight loss. Susan felt excited when she imagined how great it would be to instantly turn off her own cravings. It'd be perfect for when she felt those strong desires to eat too many cookies or binge on donuts. It would make her weight loss journey so much easier. What's more, inulin is also a type of prebiotic, which means it supports healthy digestion. In other words, it can reduce digestive discomforts and bloating. It also tastes delicious, which is why it's definitely something you should be adding to your breakfast each morning. The next ingredient is a beautiful red flower that Okinawans drink as herbal tea. It's called the Hibiscus sabdurifa, and its name means delicate flower. In one study on the hibiscus flower by the Institute of Medicine of Taiwan, 36 overweight participants took either hibiscus extract or a placebo. After 12 weeks, those taking hibiscus extract had reduced body weight, body fat, body mass index, and hip-to-waist ratio. These participants did nothing different to the others, apart from take hibiscus, and the fat just fell off their bodies. So to recap, the 4 metabolic ingredients Okinawa tonic contains are EGCG, which burns your stored fat as energy; piperin, which prevents fat storage and blocks fat cell formation; inulin, which switches off the cravings in your brain and supports digestive health; and the wonderful hibiscus flower that accelerates the overall fat loss effect. These ingredients alone would be enough for you to rewind the clock and get the slim, toned, and youthful body of your younger years back. Yet the Okinawa tonic does even more, because it also includes a super healthy blend of antioxidant fruits and berries to support your energy, immunity, and digestion. The first of those is aronia berry. Aronia is a powerful antioxidant that helps cool the fire of an inflamed digestive system, supports immunity, increases energy, and is a great source of fiber. A 2016 study found that aronia berries support healthy blood sugar levels and accelerates weight loss in overweight individuals. Then there's the acai berry, a purple fruit which you may have heard of. This potent anthocyanin supports brain health and maintains healthy cholesterol levels. But what may interest you is that it can also reduce fat absorption during mealtime. Next, there's mulberry. Mulberry helps maintain healthy blood sugar and cholesterol, markers that make a big difference to your weight and overall health. And mulberry contains a substance called rutin, known for increasing levels of fat burning in the body. And the final antioxidant fruit is Momordica charantia. This is a powerful nutrient extracted from a tropical vine. It's used as a cooking ingredient in Asia, and according to the Journal of Medicinal Food, it supports healthy blood sugar levels and has been shown to decrease fat in the midsection. This antioxidant mix provides you with the boost from its vitamins, digestive support, and extra energy you need to feel great all day. What's more, the fiber content in these berries helps you feel fuller for longer. Now imagine combining the 4 powerful metabolic ingredients together with the antioxidant berry mix and drinking it daily, and you can see why Okinawans are the slimmest, healthiest, and longest living community on the planet. Susan felt much better after seeing that trusted universities, medical schools, doctors, and scientists had all shown that these exact tonic ingredients would combine to boost her metabolism, cut cravings, and make her feel young and sexy again. And it was true that Okinawa, where this tonic came from, was the healthiest place in the entire world, with the lowest rates of overweight men and women. She decided to give it a go, as she had nothing to lose, and nothing else worked. I wanted to get her started, but I quickly ran into a problem. I could find the ingredients from various suppliers around the world, but they took weeks to be shipped. They were also pricey, and set me back around $350 for a month's supply. But when we figured out what Susan had spent on the diets, gadgets, workouts, and prepared meal plans over the years, it totaled around $11,600, and none of it even worked. I decided that $350 was a small price to pay for Susan to reclaim her youthful body, appearance, and energy. After all, this potent tonic destroys fat cells, eliminates toxins from your body, enhances energy, sleep, and supports brain power. The ingredients arrived, but I still needed time to dry them out and grind them down into a powder form. And finally, a few days later, I finally had the Okinawa Flat Belly Tonic right in front of me. I mixed the powder with water to make the tonic for Susan that same day. I was expecting some bitter, bad-tasting brew that we'd need to hold our noses for, but it tasted delicious, like a dessert drink. Now, I have to admit, I'm usually the most skeptical guy in the room. And even if it had been scientifically proven that this strange mix of natural ingredients melts off belly fat, I was far from being convinced. But the very next day, after drinking it for the first time, Susan texted me. "Hey Mike, I've lost an inch from my waist," she wrote. But I didn't want her getting her hopes too high, so I stayed cool about it. "That's fine," I replied. But a few days after that, she called me excited. "Hey Mike, I've shed 4.5 pounds. Is this normal?" I wanted to get excited for her, but again, I had to hold back. Susan had to lose at least 35 or even 45 pounds, and we were nowhere near that. "Just keep doing what you're doing," I said, taking a deep breath to stay calm.
You have to know that even at this point, I wasn't convinced. See, I'm the kind of guy who has to see something work before my eyes to actually believe it. Like so many people, I was sick of the fad diets that gave people so much hope, only for them to be crushed with disappointment.
But I was about to see the proof when Susan invited us around for a barbecue. It had been just a few weeks since she started drinking her daily tonic. And when I opened the door, I was not ready for what I was about to see. The first thing I noticed was her face, how it had become slimmer, and she'd lost her double chin. Then I looked down and saw the new slim yoga pants she was wearing, her t-shirt that revealed her midriff. Her skin had firmed up, her eyes looked brighter, and her voice sounded so energetic, so happy. She'd lost 24 pounds, and she looked stunning. And most of all, she looked so young and vibrant, I could hardly believe it. She'd rewound the clock and transformed her body in, what, just 22 days?
Emotion overwhelmed me, and I choked my greetings out, tears welling up in my eyes.
Mark then appeared behind her, now looking leaner, stronger, and more confident. He'd started taking the tonic just 1 week ago, and he couldn't keep his hands off his gorgeous, toned wife. Susan felt like she'd been in a dark room for years, and somebody had suddenly switched on the light. The simple formula from the healthiest island in the world had targeted the root cause of her belly fat, directly unlocking her powerful natural ability to incinerate fat. I hadn't seen my sister so happy for years. I was astounded by the transformation in her body. I was delighted that we'd been lucky enough to stumble on it, especially as 2 weeks later, she emailed me the results from her blood tests, which showed her health was now as good as a woman 10 years younger than her age. She felt far more confident walking down the street with her new slender body. Her hair was shinier and fuller, and even her nails were firmer. One day she bumped into her cousin in the mall who didn't recognize her at first and was stunned by her new attractive look. She was proud to notice her reflections in store windows and see the toned, youthful body she had in her 20s back on display once again. Susan melted away a total of 33 pounds during that short time, and another 21 pounds in the weeks that followed. And even if her results blew me away,
I still wanted proof that this simple solution could help every kind of overweight person out there. I mean, maybe we just got lucky.
But then my solution was put to the test. 2 weeks later, my cousin Joe came to stay. He's a craft beer fan who loves watching football and was at least 50 pounds overweight. And when Joe saw Susan's incredible transformation, he wanted in. So I got the ingredients together and mixed up a jar for Joe. Of course, Joe didn't give up his craft beer or even his favorite mac and cheese that he enjoyed every Friday. But he ended up destroying his belly fat even faster than Susan. He texted me a photo later of a lean, younger-looking dude. I was about to ask him why he was sending me photos of other guys, when I realized it was actually him in the photo. He'd lost 40 pounds, and I could hardly recognize him. I got rid of my gut even while guzzling beers at the bar 5 nights a week, he said in his text. But what I didn't count on was that Joe, being a big mouth, would go and tell everyone he knew in his local bar and his craft beer social media groups about the amazing fat loss solution he'd discovered. Very soon, I started getting 30 to 40 messages a day on Facebook from dozens of other beer fans, men and women, people of all ages. When they tried the tonic too, the results were crazy, an average of 23 pounds weight loss. My sister and Joe asked me if we could make this solution available to more people. They knew hundreds who were interested and felt that it wouldn't be right if we didn't share it with others who were struggling with their weight. This sounded like a great idea, but I didn't know where to start. As luck would have it, a buddy of mine put me in touch with Michael Day, a nutritionist with